Welcome to Fight News Now Extra. My name is John Pollock, and on the show today, we're chatting with John Ramdian and Robin Black about all of today's news, including Brandon Vera making his ONE FC debut later this year, Cyborg set to make her bantamweight debut in December, and two former teammates have a war of words online. Former Blackzilian teammates Alistair Overeem and Anthony Johnson have been exchanging words publicly this week, with Overeem taking exception to Johnson airing his problems in a public forum rather than speaking to him personally. Johnson has come back calling Overeem fake and goading Overeem for not taking the Junior Dos Santos fight that was proposed to Overeem earlier this year after Overeem defeated Frank Mir. A flyweight bout has been booked for October the 25th at UFC 179 in Brazil as Scott Jorgensen will meet Wilson Hayes. Jorgensen was scheduled to welcome Henry Cejudo to the UFC this past weekend, but that fight fell apart at the last minute when Cejudo could not make weight. Hayes just made his flyweight debut last month in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where he earned a unanimous decision victory over Joby Sanchez. ONE FC has announced that Brandon Vera will make his official debut for the promotion on December the 5th in the Philippines at the ONE FC 22 Warriors Way event. No opponent has been announced as of yet for Vera, who last fought a year ago at UFC 164 in Milwaukee, where he was stopped by Ben Rothwell in the third round. In most cases, that fight would have been turned into a no contest after Rothwell failed his post-fight drug test, but the commission in Wisconsin did not change the result. And finally, Shannon Knapp recently spoke to SureDog.com regarding the status of Chris Cyborg Justino. Knapp stated that Cyborg is on schedule to make the 135-pound weight limit and fight for the promotion in December, having her first fight in the bantamweight division. Justino has done kickboxing over the past year, but has not competed in mixed martial arts since July of 2013, where she defeated Marlos Kunin at Invicta FC 6. And I'm here with John Ramdian and what's left of Robin Black, who I thought you told us your fight was coming up September the 19th. I didn't realize it's already gone down.
Yeah, you know, you got to train hard if you're going to fight, right?
Wow.
And yeah, I trained with some tough dudes, and you end up getting a black eye and your face all busted up. That's part of it, man. What does Dana White say? So you want to be a fighter? Yeah.
Look at Robin. He is getting ready for war, folks. September the 19th, King of the Cage. Madness. This is madness right here.
I've also cut probably lost 10 or 15 pounds over the last couple of weeks too, so it's all kind of crazy.
Is this all a blur to you? Do you even remember our names here? Are you just in a state right now of a perpetual haze?
It's this Pollock fella right here that smokes all the ganja. I don't know what's
I have no idea what you're referring to with the rammer here. It's always green because he's on a vegan diet right now.
He's on a vegan diet.
Let's chat about two guys that are trying to make some green. That is Anthony Johnson and Alistair Overeem. Two former teammates that are in separate weight classes right now in the UFC right now. And Anthony Johnson, I'm not so much concerned about the back and forth. I kind of find it, sometimes it's just really annoying. So I try to look into, like, what's the angle here? What is Anthony Johnson's angle? Because he's in a very interesting spot at 205 right now. And I'm thinking that, you know, he realizes that Cormier's gained the next shot. Gustafson's probably ahead of him right now. Am I going to just take a random fight at 205 to keep busy? Or should I maybe bait Alistair Overeem, which is a bigger fight that I'm going to get with a Ryan Bader or an Ovince St. Preux level contender at 205?
Yeah, I love it. I think this is what mixed martial arts was all based on. It doesn't matter what division you're in. It's UFC or MMA make the biggest fights humanly possible. You already have some interest here because they're former teammates. Anthony Johnson has fought at heavyweight before. He fought Andrei Arlovsky, who is the former UFC heavyweight champion. On top of that, you mentioned it, it could be a while before he's fighting for that 205-pound title. Nick Diaz is fighting Anderson Silva. This is what you need to do. You need to create fights that people want to see, and a fight between Anthony Johnson and Alistair Overeem. Sign me up.
I think you guys are overthinking it. I often do go, oh, what's this guy's angle? Yeah, that's a good one. He might make some money. In this one, I think Anthony Johnson just doesn't like Alistair Overeem. That's what I hear. The thing is, you ask anybody about Anthony Johnson, this guy is loved by all his training partners. He's a gentleman. He's a hard worker. He's committed. He's classy. He's all those things. He doesn't say crap about nobody. He just just doesn't like Alistair Overeem. They say that Alistair Overeem is a bit of a bully in the gym, and there is one in every gym, and nobody likes that guy. And apparently it's Overeem. I don't know that for sure, but that's what Anthony Johnson thinks.
Isn't there word right now that John Jones is training with Alistair Overeem? That
he got hurt. Yeah. He got hurt training with him, they say. Yeah. You know? And Alistair goes, oh, people get hurt all the time. And Anthony Johnson goes, yeah, they do, but when you do it, you hurt them on purpose. And have you trained enough? You've been in gyms with those guys. Nobody likes those guys.
Yeah, we also had Andrei Arlovsky, who went to Russia and gave a pretty scathing review of Alistair Overeem, and then it's all out of context. We're best friends here. I don't know what they were putting in there. I mean, my words were clearly misinterpreted. The ultimate go-to for a fighter, taken out of context.
Somebody hacked his phone.
Yeah,
that's the second number, or the second one that we can always look for as a great excuse. Looking at the Friday night, where Alistair Overeem will be taking on Ben Rothwell. We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves here. An interesting battle here, and ramifications now in Canada, where you only have one choice of what you get to see on Friday night. Bellator will be running in Canada, but UFC will not. You have to go the Fight Pass direction if you want to watch it here in Canada. And I think if you're a mixed martial arts fan, I think most people are going to figure this out when they tune in to the fights on Friday night, realize that, hey, I don't see Alistair Overeem on my screen, and hey, I'm going over to Bellator perhaps.
Yeah, this is good news for the Bellator organization, because number one, you have the great main event, 145-pound title fight. It's a rematch. Pat Curran and Pitbull. On top of that, you have Bobby Lashley on the card, you have King Mo on the card, and you have an outstanding heavyweight matchup that'll probably kick off the card. Czech Congo and LeVar Johnson. I have a feeling somebody is getting knocked out in this fight.
Yeah, you know what? There is a lot going on with the broadcast rights in Canada for the UFC. The UFC, Canada's the third biggest market maybe after the US and Brazil, but they canceled a bunch of shows this year. It sounds like they're going to have a broadcasting partner change. Maybe Fight Network will get a bunch of UFC stuff. But
what is Robin's angle here?
There is a lot of turbulence there, but it really sucks when you can't watch the UFC on television in their third biggest market.
All right. He is Robin Black. Hopefully he will make it to September the 19th. John Ramdine, I'm John Pollock, and we have more Fight News Now Extra coming up.